Welcome everyone, Joe McRogers, grief therapist here. Today, we're exploring a vital aspect of our journey through grief, and that's about cultivating a positivity bias when negativity dominates our minds, our heads, and our hearts. Grief often overwhelms us with a wave of negative emotions, and it can be challenging to find any sense of light in such darkness. However, fostering a positive mindset amidst our grief is not only possible, but also essential for healing. Now, let me be clear, grief and positivity don't easily belong in the same sentence. I want to be really clear. I am not talking about fake it till you make it, or just think positive, or the comforts that others offer. He's in a better place. They are out of pain. At least you had 30 years together, or any sentence that starts with at least. The nature of positivity that I am speaking about is directly targeted to meet the normal, natural effect of negativity bias. As human beings, our brains are wired to pay more attention to negative experiences than positive ones. This bias served our ancestors well. It kept them alert to dangers. It kept them alive. However, in the context of grief, it can trap us in a cycle of despair and hopelessness. Acknowledging this tendency is the first step toward change. And I will link to my video that I made about negativity bias at the end of this one. So again, positivity doesn't mean ignoring our pain or pretending that everything is okay. It means intentionally seeking out and embracing moments or the belief that the future can hold hope, joy, and gratitude in the midst of our sorrow. Creating a positivity bias involves small, incremental, deliberate actions that can shift our focus from what we've lost to what still remains, or what can still come to happen in our lives in spite of and with our grief. So let me know in the comments if your life has been taken hostage by the natural negativity bias of grief. There are several ways to encourage and nurture a positivity bias, but it takes awareness, commitment, and a change in our mindset. And this just does not happen casually or by chance. Think of each of these suggestions as just planting the seed of change and a life that could include both your grief and your future and love. So the number one place to start is to cultivate mindfulness and presence. Begin by being mindful. Practice being present in each moment without self-judgment. This can help you become aware of positive experiences as they happen, no matter how small they might seem. Simple mindfulness exercises like focusing on your breath or observing nature can ground you in the present, even just for a moment. We need to practice this. Grief is all about the past and the future. Take a few breaths and be in the present. Watch the sparrows. Thank the rain so you don't feel guilty for not going out today because you can't get off the couch. Warm your hands around your cup of tea with a few breaths. The second practice to consider is a gratitude practice. Now, I always find this a controversial ask. To me, it's like asking someone who is having a panic attack to just calm down. That doesn't work. But I do believe that gratitude can play a role in meeting our negativity bias. And this is a big picture, long game lens. Rather than writing down 3 things that you are grateful for, which is what many gratitude practices ask of us, ask yourself at the end of the day, what was the best thing that happened to me today? And I believe that even on the hardest of days, there will still be something that was the best. I didn't cry in the grocery store. Nobody that I love died, and I didn't puke when I woke up. It's all so important how you set your lens of gratitude. The third thing I ask of you is to seek inspiring connections. Surround yourself with supportive and inspiring stories, and then eventually supportive and inspiring people. Engage in social media that uplifts and inspires you. Make a fake account that is only filled with dog or cat or dolphin videos. Find places where sharing memories of your loved one feels safe and comforting. It is so important to cultivate this so that you can avoid the comparison of grief in my life versus other happy lives, or my grief versus other people's grief. Practice positive affirmations. Remind yourself of your strengths and your resilience. Positive self-talk can counteract the harsh self-criticism that often accompanies us in grief in a negativity bias. So think of phrases such as, even though I am miserable right now, I trust that I will find my way. Of kindness. Perform these acts both for yourself and for others. Helping others can create a sense of purpose and connection. It often brings unexpected moments or glimpses of joy into our lives. When you are able to pull yourself out of bed or off the couch or out of the house, volunteering has a positive impact of grief. Research tells us this. The act of giving can somewhat counteract the act of believing that you will never feel better. Remember, this is a lie that grief tells us. We will never feel better. The last element I want you to consider is the role of intuition. So lastly, please trust your intuition. Your inner wisdom knows what you uniquely need to heal. Be gentle with yourself and allow your intuition to guide you toward a supportive, positive mindset first that may then take you into positive experiences, and lastly, into positive connections, and finally, into positive engagement. Learn to trust that you can hold both grief and positivity simultaneously through experimenting what works for you. Creating a positivity bias during grief is a task of grief. It requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. By taking small, intentional steps, we can gradually shift our focus from the darkness of our loss, the negativity bias, into the possibility that we can carry our grief and still find glimpses, moments, and tracks of love, joy, and reasons to still be here. Please remember, it's okay to feel joy amidst sorrow. In fact, embracing positivity can be one of the most profound ways to honor the memory of our loved ones who have died and to heal our own hearts. It has a double bonus. So I thank you for your time today, for your willingness to explore this hard topic, and for your courage to seek ways and means to meet your grief and the negativity bias. We are all better together, so let us know in the comments if you have had any success with meeting the lies that grief tells us that we will never feel better. Be our inspiration and tell us what has worked for you. And as you meet this task of grief, I send you kind thoughts, kind words, and a kind heart. Thank you, and take good care.